kind of just want to show you what a nebula looks like. There's a nebula, there's another nebula, and there's another nebula. First of all, I have so many questions. One, what is that? What is a nebula? And two, how did that happen? How did we get there? And three, why? Why does it look like that? Why does it look so cool? In order to figure out my 3 questions, I'm going to paint a nebula. I'm going to paint this nebula, learn how it works, learn why it looks so cool, and learn how it happened. And as I'm painting, I'll let you know too. So, obviously the first step for me as a painter is that you want to start all black. And then you want to build these 3 different worlds. You kind of see, it kind of looks like you're going into space and then it's a portal to another world. And I really want to capture that in my painting. I do only have about an hour to do this, so go ahead and dive into that black right there. And then once I get this black done, we'll move on to step 2. All right, we'll get back to the painting, but to my knowledge, nebulas is either a birthplace for stars or a grave for dying stars. I thought that like nebulas would just be like a category and that was it, but they all have their own names and they all have different types. Like for example, the one that I'm painting is called a Helix Nebula. And the Helix Nebula holds dead stars. Okay, so it looks like it's about as much black as it's gonna do. I think I'll start with the blue, and then I'll do the grayish, whitish, and then I'll do the orange, and then I'll do the outside. Like I said, there's 4 different parts of the nebula. And the reason it looks like that is because the stars release like different gases, I think hydrogen and I think dust, and space wind, which I didn't know was a thing, blows them away and further apart. So that's why it kind of expands outward. And then I want to take like a dry brush and do, okay, the way I want to do this orange is you can see the white. I think I'm going to keep that white, like a little bit of white on the outside, and then you can see a little bit of orange, and you can see a little bit of the mixture of orange and red, and then you just see red. And that's how I want to do this. So I think we'll just have a bunch of mixtures of different colors and blend them together. Okay, I don't mean to like burst the whole color bubble here, but the colors aren't real, which kind of blew my mind when I heard about it. The way that we see the nebulas aren't actually real because our eyes can't process it, which is really weird. And so what scientists do so they can understand how it works is they'll assign different gases one of the 3 prime colors, and then based on that you can make a full color image. And so it's kind of real, but it's kind of fake. So it's hard to know exactly what they look like, but with our own eyes, it would just look black and white. Okay, let's get this orange. Okay, now I think we do a little mixing with these 2. Okay, looking good right now. And let's do this like outside ring here. The floating red things were called the outer rings, and the reason that they're so far apart is that they were emitted way before the other ones were emitted, and so they're just farther apart, which makes sense. So I think we're about to have to stop, so I'm gonna do the stars. I'll probably fill in this gap right here and then call it. But overall, that does not look like a star. Okay, I'm adding stars. I think stars will help. Okay, before I show you the final painting, I think I learned why they looked so cool, and also why they looked kind of fake. I go camping a lot. I like sitting at the fire and like seeing the smoke and the embers fly out of the fire pit. And the more I think about it, the more that's kind of like a nebula. And just like, you know, just like a little bigger. And like, imagine if you were an ant and you wanted to see the smoke coming out of the embers. You just couldn't imagine how big of a scale that is until the smart little ant comes around and assigns colors to each of the smoke, and then they can see how it interacts, and then they realize that it's just gray and I guess orange. But yeah, that's what I've learned about nebulas.